We're going to install a JACLO zero-edge channel drain in a simulated shower pan today. We've prefabricated this simulated shower pan with a piece of wonderboard or backer board sitting on top of a subfloor. We've pre-cut the hole for the zero-edge channel drain in our simulated shower pan. This is the JACLO zero-edge channel drain. We're going to drop it in here. We're going to screw it down. I've put gloves on my hands because it makes it much easier to clean your hands up afterwards, and it's really not a good idea to get mastic or adhesive in your skin. Some of this materials, depending on what you can use, can be caustic and can be something you don't want put on your hands. So now I'm going to apply a bead of adhesive to the flange of the drain. I'm using an adhesive that's compatible with our membrane we've selected for this shower pan. Now I'm going to use the fine trowel I've selected to apply mastic to my backer board, which then I will put down my waterproof membrane on top of. Just apply this as thin as possible. You don't need much. It's just going to be used to bond your membrane down. So the thinner the coat you use, the easier you'll have and a simpler job will be to apply your membrane and not have any lumps left in it. I'm going to use our box as a guide to help me lay down the membrane and also keep the channel drain as clean as possible during this installation. I'm now going to lay down my waterproof membrane. I'll feather out the adhesive, and we can clean up that little bit of adhesive there later on. But this is an important seal, that you get the flange securely bonded to the membrane. I'm going to staple the membrane to my simulated wall while we tile this. I've pre-cut some tiles to fit inside this grate here, and I've used some shims underneath it just to get the level. You'll have to change those shims, and depending on what tile thickness, or you may not even have to use shims if you get the proper tile in there. This is an example of a regular grate here. If I were going to use this, I would maintain keeping the box in my channel drain throughout the rest of this installation. However, today we're going to put the tile grate in, and it's much easier to line your finished tiles around the tile grate if you're using it as a guide. Again, just be careful with your mastic, and you can clean this stuff up afterwards. Okay, we're going to begin putting the mastic down to put our tiles in. I'm going to remove the tile grate so I can get to the back wall here. I'm not tiling up the back of this shower pan yet. And again, using the tile grate, it's just simpler to use this as a guide and line up your tiles than the box. If you were using the regular grate, stainless grate, you'd leave the box in here. I'm starting in this corner because it'll be easier to work out from that corner, and I really want to line things up around my tile grate to make things look nice and even. All right, while we're still a little bit wet here, why don't we clean this drain out? As I said earlier, we're going to use the tile grate here to give that nice uniform, sort of minimalistic look here in this setup. I've put some shims in the base of my drain just to get the tile up to the proper height. You can use shims, or you can use different levels of mastic. And use a proper adhesive to bond your tile to the stainless steel. And again, this edge here can be finished in with a colored adhesive or colored silicone to make it a nice finished edge to match your grout.